Edition, directed by Marcel Lenoum. This wonderful film is screening as part of our Centerpiece program, which is presented by Marriott Bonvoy, so we thank them as well. We would like to extend a thank you to WME for providing us with this film, and additional gratitude to Screen Australia and Vic Screen for their generous support. Thank you. And before I welcome our special guests onto the stage for an introduction, I want to inform you that Edition is eligible for the People's Choice Award presented by Rogers. So please vote for your favorite film at tiff.net/vote. That's tiff.net/vote. And I have a great pleasure of previewing this film earlier this year and was immediately charmed by its performances, its direction, its screenplay, and the way it just really transcended genres. And it's my great pleasure to have the world premiere of this film with us here at TIFF this year. So please join me in welcoming director Marcel Lenoum, who will introduce the stage party.
Wow, this is like so cool. I'm so nervous. This is my first and this is my debut feature, and it's been a lifetime. You might be cry. It's been a lifetime dream, and to have my debut film at TIFF is amazing. So thank you, Jason. I'm a bit emotional. Anyway. Thank you so much. You made our dreams real. Bruna always said that this was a festival we wanted to get into because the audience is the best in the world. So you guys rock, man. So to rewind a bit before we begin, thanks very much to Jason and to TIFF for having us. And Christina and Bruna optioned Tony's novel 14 years ago. So in a lesson in never giving up, they just continued to try to get the film happening, which is pretty amazing. As we all know, it takes a mountain of support and faith and a lot of never giving upness and a village. So I want to give a big shout out to our producers and my beautiful friends, Bruna Papandrea, Christina Pazan, Steve Kutensky, Jean Snow, Jodie Madison, Barbara Gibbs, and Jane Forrest. And they're all here tonight, and I love them to the moon. I want to also thank our fabulous screenwriter, Becky Johnston. You see Becky? Here's Becky Johnston, screenwriter extraordinaire, who adapted Tony's beautiful book where Grace's story began. I also want to thank our investors, Screen Australia, Vic Screen, and our executive producers, including Deanne Weir, who's here in the audience tonight. Somewhere, Deanne, or this afternoon. Got my glasses on. And of course Tony Jordan, Tony, who wrote the novel edition, best-selling novel. So none of this would have happened without Tony, of course. Thanks to our Australian distributor Roadshow, especially Joel Perlman and Edwina Waddy. And fun fact, we shot in Joel Perlman's house, so he was incredibly supportive. Obviously, huge thanks to our dedicated, creative, hard-working crew because, no film happens without them, and they were amazing. And none of this really matters without a talented cast to bring the story to brightly coloured life. So just loads of gratitude to our brilliant group of actors who are led by the most generous and fantastic stars I could ever have hoped to work for my debut feature, who are Teresa Palmer. Teresa? Oh, and Joe Dempsey. And I'm sure you agree they're just absolute stunning. Both outstanding, generous, smart, loads of fun, and amazing collaborators. So thanks again for coming. This was just a totally hugely cool moment. And let's roll the film. And so this Q&A. Talk to me later. I love you. It's so cool.
We're back with the Q&A with Marcel and Teresa and Joe. So please enjoy the film, and thank you again for coming.
Yeah, right.
Center stage, please. Congratulations. I hope that was a wonderful experience for you all.
Yeah, I'm a bit emotional. Yeah.
I love to hear that. I'm an absolute crybaby, and even if I've seen the film 100 times, and it's just a wonderful.
Look, scars run.
Yeah, Marcel, what attracted to you to this project?
Well, lots of things really. I mean, I love stories about lonely girls and women trying to get their shit together. And I think there was so much that attracted to me to this was that, firstly, the romance of it and the genuine love and overcoming something that was really difficult. Also the opportunity to share some true love, particularly after COVID. You know, I wanted to create a film that had a lot of hope in it, which I hope we've done. And added to that, I wanted to normalise mental health, and I wanted to go, it's okay to let your freak flag fly, and you can be any kind of person and be totally accepted for who you are, and we've all got flaws, and I think, but truly that was like a big deal for me. Also, I have a particular interest in mental health. My brother, really genuine love that they have for each other that transcends everything else. And so for me,
I was traveling back to Australia with like my many children, and I was really distracted, and I was like, oh, I need to read this script. And I got about 10 pages in, and I was like, whoa, this is so special. And I grew up as the only child with a mother who has schizoaffective disorder. So I've been in this kind of caretaker role my entire life. It's all I've known. And it was so nuanced and colourful, this character. She was so complex that actually it was celebrating this part of her life in many ways. And I think that's quite refreshing. And it was really just this breath of fresh air, and she's complex, but also really funny, and like a little quirky, and her weirdness is really endearing and sexy. Yes, you think you always use that word, sexy. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, what a vibrant character. So I just felt honoured that Bruna, she was initially the first person to bring me the script, that she thought of me for this after we worked together on Warm Bodies many, many moons ago, which is a far cry from this movie, but I just feel so honoured to have been chosen to portray this beautiful, wonderful character.
Thank you so much. And Joe, the chemistry between Grace and Seamus is really central to the heart of the film. How did you work on that dynamic together with Teresa?
Well, yeah, I think that, because for me, my initial involvement in the script, again, I worked with Bruno and Steve before, and they sent the script to me, and the thing that was appealing, or one of the many things that was appealing to me about it was that, with Seamus, because, this film is very much about Grace and Grace's story, and we very much see the world through her eyes, and you can't possibly delve into every supporting character's backstory, but I saw in the script space for me to sort of make the character my own, and after talking with Marcel about the way that she liked to work, I guess as an actor you often feel like you need sort of permission to do that and permission to explore that, and a director that's willing to allow time for you as actors to experiment and play and try things that might not work. And I think that spirit became the key part of how Teresa and I managed to establish that relationship pretty fucking quickly, because we had like, it was an independent film, you don't have like a long time to rehearse. And I guess we were getting to know each other as people at the same time as we were shooting this movie, and so that all kind of sort of bled into each other, and I think that it allowed us to be, well, Marcel created an environment whereby we could be playful and sort of goof around and try something that might not work and not feel like an idiot if it didn't work. And I think that's a really key part of an early stage of the relationship, isn't it? Once you get past that, as we know from Grace, she's putting her best foot forward for a longer time than usual. She's hiding something pretty big from him for a while. But once you get past that initial sort of trying to present the very best version of yourself to someone new, you then get into that really lovely stage where you can be relaxed and comfortable in each other's company. And I think that, the sort of atmosphere that Marcel created on set was sort of key to allowing us to do that.
That's fantastic. We'll have time for your wonderfully succinct and film-specific questions in a moment. But before we get there, one of the things I love too, there's this connection between Melbourne and Toronto that I found over the years, and
practicing breath work, and we're doing all these exercises to really sort of get you deep into your body. And so I would actually oftentimes practice those with my co-star, the exercises we learned during the rehearsal period, just to drop in. I'm like emotionally accessing my emotions. It's quite there at the surface. I do find that relatively easy to tap into, but it was pretty exhausting because you shoot 14, 15-hour days, and she's got a certain energy about her, and to keep that up, it is tiring. I'm also a mother with 5 children, so I'm used to that kind of energy, and I'm used to sort of the peaks and valleys of being hyped up and then dropping back down again. I just put it all into this character, and I've been saying today, and I think it's such a beautiful, rare thing that, my husband's in the audience, I think he would say this too. So much of me, Teresa, and my personality quirks are on screen. So much of it, like all my little quirks and weirdness, and there was this moment that my husband nudged me when I just sort of flopped down on top of him, no personal space, just sort of crawl on him, and Mark's like, oh my god, it happens every day. So I think I also just pulled a lot of my own stuff into it, and she gave us the space to do that. Marcel, I saw the movie for the first time. I was sitting in the bath and I watched it on my laptop for the first time about 3 weeks ago, and I was like, she used all those bits. I can't believe, even when I'm like, what a weirdo. I say that all the time in my life, and I was like, all the little quirks she pulled in, and a lot of it is even in the trailer, which is so exciting. And not all filmmakers will give you that freedom, but she did, and that's incredibly liberating.
Whether deliberately or not, it ended up helping me as an actor, because I think that I thought it was important to have at least a couple of moments in the film where you see Seamus's insecurities come to the fore. Because I think if he was just this kind of bastion of stability and consistency the whole way through, I don't think that's necessarily that interesting to watch, sort of Saint Seamus kind of sort of coming in and out of the picture. And I think that Grace's reluctance to go there, to sort of commit to him in that way, he's not an idiot, he notices it. I think that that's when things do start to get more intense with Grace and with her OCD, and she starts to push away. But he's unaware of it at that point, and so he then makes it about him, and that exacerbates the problem. And hopefully it's very frustrating as an audience to see two people that are clearly so right for each other sort of push each other away because of their insecurities. He's making it all about him, and you're going off me, and if you are, just tell me. And I think that it was, whether that was the intended consequence, it helped me as an actor to sort of bring a bit of that to Seamus as well, I think.